Welcome to K1P1 TV. My name is Ruth Herring and today I'm going to demonstrate the Intarsia knitting method. Now, Intarsia knitting is where you can have any number of colours along the row. So here we go from navy to cream to green and to beige, and then we would go back again. And then each time you hit a new colour, you twist the yarns round each other to prevent a hole from forming. Once you've finished with the cream, then you bring it back into action the next time it's needed, and you'll do the same, twisting the colours around each other. Right, I'm now going to show you how to do this method. It's quite straightforward once you're shown. So here we have some white knitting, and what I've done in advance is prepared up to the point where I'm going to join in my new colour. So I'm going to bring in some red, show up nice and clearly hopefully, and I'm going to leave about 9 or 10 centimetres at the end as a tail end, and I'm going to wrap the yarn and knit a stitch. Now the tail end just hangs at the back there, and what we don't want to do is start knotting, or we certainly don't want to start knitting two together. So I'm going to knit another 5 stitches in the red, and then I'm going to show you how to proceed from there. So 3, 6, there we go. Now I always put my needle in the stitch and then I sort out my colours. Now what I want to do now is go back to white, but if I take my white across the back, you'll see I have rather a long, what we call a float forming. Also, I don't want to carry the white across the back because that would make this red section rather thick. Now the beauty about Intarsia is we join in a second ball of colour, and then that keeps each section the same tension. So here we go, I have another ball prepared in advance, and again leave about 9 centimetres, leave the tail end at the back, wrap the yarn, whoops, and we'll just knit to the end. And you can see the yarns aren't twisted or anything like that. Okay, we're now going to turn the work and we're going to work on our purl side. Now here's one of our tail ends, there's the other tail end, but rather alarmingly we got 2 rather large holes that are formed here. Don't worry, because these holes will now close when we do our purl row. So the purl row, we're just going to start with a knit stitch just to stop the work curling, and then I go into purl. So I'm going to purl up to the red section. So one more stitch, here we go, and I'm going to put my needle in the first red stitch. Now the yarn we've just finished with goes over to the left, and also this tail end, I'm just going to bring that to tension, and that's going to go over the top of the red thread as well. Then we take the red thread over to the right, just pull it to tension, and then round the needle. And now we're ready to purl the other 5 red stitches. Okay, so again, needle in, and now we'll sort out our threads. Right, I'm going to just get rid of that rather annoying tail end there. And our red thread that we've just finished with goes over the top of our white, and we bring our tail end to tension, and that also goes over the top of the white. Now just a little tug to bring that first stitch to tension, and now we can work to the end. And we're going to finish with a knit stitch to stop it curling. Okay, let's turn back to the right side again. Now already it's looking quite flat. The holes have disappeared and the tension, it's all looking like one piece of work, not somewhere where we've joined in new colours. Okay, this time on the knit row we're going to extend the red out 1 stitch either side, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to knit within 1 stitch of the white. There we go. Now don't forget, needle in, then sort out your colours. Now this time the white goes over to the left and the red comes from underneath over to the right and then round the needle. So we've locked them together. You can see there the white has been locked into place by the red stitch. It's really important before you proceed that that lock is in place, otherwise you'll end up with a big hole. So now I'm going to knit across my red and across my first white stitch. There we go. Okay, again, needle in and then sort out your colours. So this time the red, a bit more red release there, the red goes over to the left and then the white, just pull it to tension a bit, then that comes into action from the right and around needle. And I'm now going to work to the end. Okay, right, we'll turn to the purl side, and this time I'm going to work the same number of stitches in purl. But first of all I'm going to knit the first stitch in, knit, and then I'm going to purl up to where I change colour. So last white, needle in the next stitch, then the white goes over to the left and then the red comes around. Now before I knit the red stitch, I'm just going to pull that last white stitch down a bit to tension, and now wrap to purl your red stitches. And my last red stitch, then it's needle in to the next stitch, take the red over to the left, bring that last stitch there to tension, and then pick up your white and wrap it around to the end. Now bringing those stitches to tension will give you a much more even tension where you change the colours. Okay, and you can see the gaps are closed up there. Just going to bring that tail end to tension a bit, and that one as well. Okay, then we can turn to the front. Let's have a look at our work. Drop my needle. That's not looking bad. Like, this is before it's been steamed, darned, etc. So I hope you found that useful. If you want to learn how to darn the ends in, then look at the demonstration video on K1P1 TV, and also visit our website k1p1.com.